a... What is up, book nerds? My name is Hillary, and welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm going to be doing my September wrap-up, and in the month of September, I read 7 or 8 books for the month, which I would say that's pretty good. One of them I am currently working on, and it is the 26th of September, so I still have a few more days to finish it. I'm over halfway done with it, so I am planning on finishing it in the next couple of days. And yeah, I had a great month of reading and can't wait to talk to you guys about the books that I read. So I just ran and got my bullet journal / reading journal where I take all my notes on my books and write down my star rating for them. So I will be going off of this on telling you guys what I thought about the books. And the first book that I read for the month of September was Zodiac Academy: The Awakening by Caroline Peckham and Susan Valenti. This book I enjoyed. Was it really what I expected? No, I thought it was going to be a little better than what it was. But when you go into this book, you learn it is about these twin sisters, Tori and Darcy, and they live in the human world. Well, then one day when they're 18, a guy shows up in their apartment, and his name is Orion, and he tells them that they are Fae, and their parents were the ones who ruled this kingdom where he's from, and they have a right to the inheritance and everything, but first they have to make it through the academy and go through all the schooling, and if they don't, then they don't get the inheritance, but if they do, then they obviously get the inheritance. Once they show up at the school, there are these 4 celestial heirs who are trying to take them down. You have Max, Caleb, Darius, and Seth, and they're the ones right now that have the throne to the heir. They're next to be thrown. But with the twins coming, that's all up in the air. And so they're trying to take down these 2 twins, and the way that they did in the book absolutely made me hate them. But as I'm going on in the series, it's still like a love-hate relationship with them, but there's some that you absolutely love, and then the other ones you're just like, oh my gosh, they're such a jerk. So I am excited to see where this series takes me and to see what Tori and Darcy are for their order and just go on from there. But I gave this book a 3-star rating. Like I said, it wasn't the greatest, but each book just keeps getting better and better. The next book that I read for the month of September was one that I had such high hopes for. I saw it was a movie that came out earlier this year, and I was like, oh, I'm going to read the book. The movie looks nice and spicy, and so I figured the book was going to be that way. And boy, was I wrong. And the book that I am talking about is My Fault by Mercedes Ron. This book is about a girl named Noah. Her mother marries her stepdad, and he has a son, a 22-year-old son. Noah is 17, and what's his name? Nick is 22. And so it's kind of like gross, and it's step siblings, which usually I'm like, okay, whatever, I can get past that part. But there's parts in this book that he'd call her little sister, and I would just get the ick factor. Plus the part where this is more of a YA book than it is new adult, like I thought it was compared to the movie. And another thing, in the movie, it looks like they talk more about street racing, and in this book, they did a little bit about it, but not much, and I was just so disappointed in this. So I only gave it a 2-star rating, which I'm very disappointed in, and I will not be continuing with this series, and it's just such a bummer because I really thought I was going to like it, and this cover is gorgeous. In September, the next book that I read was Zodiac Academy: Ruthless Fae by Caroline Peckham and Susan Valenti. This one was so much better than the first one. The fact that you see Tori and Darcy finally getting vengeance for what the guys did to them at the end of book 1 is just so good. And I love seeing Tori's dark side because she can be ruthless, and I love that about her, and she doesn't take crap from anybody, and I have to give her props for that. And you're seeing Darcy starting to form feelings for someone she shouldn't be forming feelings for. And you see a different side to Darius in this book, which I absolutely loved. But I mean, he's still a dick. So, come on. And what would Zodiac Academy be without Darius being a dick? But you get more of Lionel in this book, which is Darius's dad. And oh my gosh, he is so mean to Darius. No wonder Darius is the way he is, and he feels pressure for everything that he has to do. And the way this book ended, I was like, okay, I really want to go into book 3, but I need a little bit of a break, read some other books besides Zodiac Academy so I don't get burnt out on them. But there's this big event that happens at the end of the book, and you're just like, oh my gosh, who lives, who dies, what happens, and is this going to bring them all together to finally fight together against the things that happened? And yeah, I gave this one 4 stars on Goodreads because, like I said, it was a lot better. It had more romance in this than the first one did also, and I kind of enjoyed that. So yeah, 4-star rating for the second book, and yeah, I'm excited because this series has 7 or 8 books in it, and I don't know if it's finished, but I'm excited to see where the whole series goes. But then the next book that I picked up, so I wouldn't read too much of Zodiac Academy, was Illuminate by Jay Kristoff and Amy Kaufman. This book I listened to on audio. It got kind of confusing at the beginning because, I mean, I know I was listening to it, but I just wasn't just, encaptured by the story like I thought I was going to be. And towards the end, I started liking it more. And I do have all 3 books, so I plan on reading all 3 or listening to them and seeing where they go. It did have a little bit of suspense in it, but I think it's because it's more of a sci-fi book, and I can go with sci-fi as long as there's some other elements to the book, but this one was super sci-fi, and it's young adult, so that might be part of it why I didn't enjoy it as much. But I gave this one 3 stars, and like I said, I will continue with the other 2 books, but I don't really have high hopes for them. I also read in the month of September a book that I gave 5 stars to. This is the first 5-star book I've given out since I read Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros, and I really enjoyed the writing of this book, and I think this author is one of my new favorite authors because I bought a couple of his other books, but I do want to get all of his backlisted and read those. And the book that I read this month was Wolf Song by TJ Klune. When I say this book was a 5-star, I absolutely mean it. The fact that you have werewolves in it, but it's not all about the paranormal. You have a guy who grows up poor, and he's made fun of, and he's picked on, and all of a sudden this family moves in next door to him, and he starts to become like family to them, and his childhood just sucked because of his dad. His mom was a wonderful parent, but could only do so much for him. But the fact that this family moved in and took him in as one of their own was amazing. And then there was really sad parts in this book where I almost cried. And the romance in it, I loved it. This is a male-male romance book. I think all 4 of them are. And I am planning on reading book 2 in the month of October, so keep an eye out for that. I just can't stop gushing about it, and I will recommend this to anyone who's looking for a amazing writing of a book that's simple and just captures you right away. I mean, from chapter 1, I was in. I read this book in like 2 days, and this book is almost 500 pages long. Really enjoyed it, and I love the characters. All the characters really in this book, but I really, really loved Ox and Joe, and I really believe that they were made to be together. All right, so the second to the last book that I read for this month was one that at first I started reading it and thought, oh my gosh, this is just gonna be like the first book and have the same things that happened to it, and I'm so glad I was wrong for that. I absolutely love this book, and it was another 5-star rating from me. And I pretty sure I feel like it's better than the first one, honestly. And the nice thing is, you don't have to read the first book to read the second one. Yeah, it's a duology, but they're two separate stories. And that book is The Housemaid's Secret by Frida McFadden. Like I said, really, really love this book, and we'll be picking up other books by Frida McFadden. My thing is, the fact that someone thought that they could one-up Nina in this book, especially since I read the first one, oh my gosh, I just could not believe what happened. And that ending on how this one person gets revenge on this other person was mind-blown, because just definitely did not see anything coming in this book. The first half was a lot like the first book, but the second half was totally different, and just everything that happened in it. I love thriller books like this. When I have no idea what is going to happen and I cannot figure it out, that's when a thriller book really gets a good high rating for me, and this book did it. Loved it. Can't wait to read more of her stuff, and I recommend this one for anybody to read in October because it is a great thriller, and it's not scary either, so it'll just keep you on your toes. And the last book that I am currently reading and wanting to finish up for this month is Zodiac Academy: The Reckoning. This one is where everything starts coming together. You're going to find out so much in this book. The girls have to go through these tests to make it to the reckoning, and you see more of the relationships between all four guys are different for each of the twins, and who gets along with who and all that. And there's a specific romance in this book. When it happened, I was so happy, and I'm hoping that another romance happens in the next couple of books, because if it doesn't, I'm gonna be so mad. But Tori and Darcy have been through the ringer, especially with the 4 celestial heirs, and the fact that they keep coming back and fighting just makes it that much sweeter and better, and just shows, like, don't let anybody push you around. Stand up for what you think is right, and stand up for others too, because even if they're smaller than you or not as strong as you, you should still treat everybody the same, not different. And that's the one thing that I like about this book, and can't wait to continue on with this series. Like I said, the last 2 times I talked about it, I'm expecting this one to be a high rating for me. I'm predicting 4.5, 5 stars. Just depends on how it ends and everything that happens in it. But yeah, I am 66% into this book and planning on finishing it in the next 2 days. And can't wait, because I'm hoping I can pick up the 4th book next month. I'm also going book shopping this weekend, and I want to get most of these books physically so I can read them and have them, the physical books, and maybe eventually rereading them and annotating them, which would be awesome. But that's beside the point. That is it for this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit that like and that subscribe to know when I am posting, with that notification bell. And yeah, like always, keep on reading, people. And let me know down in the comments what you read for the month of September, and if we read some of the same books, because you never know, we might have. Bye!